Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. Appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day, making me your first listen of the day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast. Jordan, let's talk about Kaidon Salter. So, tremendous game against Wyoming. And again, and I want to say this because it is Wyoming. So, he should have had a really good game against Wyoming, but I feel like he needed it. He needed a statement game, and he delivered, right? He threw for 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, completed 64% of his passes, and then he ran for another 86 yards. So he was almost at 400 yards of total offense and 4 touchdowns. And when Coach Prime was speaking with Romy Bean on, I would believe it would be Wednesday, he talked about that there was a behind the scenes sort of aha moment. And we're going to listen to the clip and then we'll sort of dissect what possibly this could have meant, because I have my suspicions. Let me get the...
Obviously, he balled out, but I want to talk about there's something you wanted to see out of him. How did he handle that?
I don't even want to use the word bench. Detained him.
Detained him. Okay.
Yeah, because we just wanted him to see what we see.
Yeah.
And to understand how we do things here. And he got it.
Yeah.
He got it.
Did you see kind of a moment that it clicked for him?
Yeah. He met with the whole offensive staff and we got everything out. We I'm trying to be, I'm not trying to tell you everything, but I'm trying to tell you most of the things. We got it out and he understood the process.
Okay. So, Jordan, when you hear that and you see how Kaidon performed, what does that tell you? Like, what was your takeaway from what Coach Prime was kind of saying? Because to me, it says maybe Kaidon Salter wasn't doing everything he needed to behind the scenes, or maybe there was just something that had happened that sort of deterred his confidence. What did you take away from that?
So when a coach sits down and says that they wanted to talk to him about just everything and they got it out, the first thing that you're automatically going to think is, oh, he probably did something off the field or something bad. But in my instance, from what I've seen, I don't think it was anything like that. I feel like what had happened behind the scenes was he was not fully locked into the program.
Okay.
I feel like he was going about things his own way when the coaches wanted him to go about certain things in another certain capacity, whether it be watching film or whether it's, just anything of, a quarterback capacity. They know that the quarterback is the most important player when it comes to trying to lead a team. They are the ones that make every play. They're the ones that make every decision. And you have to look good both on and off the field, whether it's whatever you do. All eyes are going to be on you as the quarterback. And I feel like what they wanted him to do was accept that role and understand that role and see that you are that person that we brought you here for. We want you to be the most upstanding person you can be, whether it be on the field or off the field. And I feel like Kaidon Salter is now bought into that role and he understands what the coaches expect of him. And I feel like he is now giving the coaches exactly what they want. And that's just whether it's more film, whether it's sitting down and talking about it, whether it's, meeting with the offense more, being more of a leader, being more of a person on the field that they need. It could be a variety of factors, but at the end of the day, they have this person that they've entrusted their offense to that they had detained, and they wanted him to see exactly what kind of program they run, and they wanted him to be bought into the program, and they wanted him to have the mindset of a quarterback going through this program from a quarterback that they've had before in Shador and any other quarterback that comes through their program. I feel like so I wouldn't necessarily think that it's a bad thing that they detained him because it wasn't. I feel like Kaidon, I wouldn't necessarily say needed that, but he definitely needed to see, both sides of the program. He has to be able to see, look, I can't just do my own thing and just go out here and expect to win. Because even though it was Wyoming and he had a great game, it's still hard to win any college football game, despite who you play or who you are. Like it's a different kind of feeling. Just being able to go out there, put your head down, and just absolutely dominate an opponent isn't something that you can just wake up and do on any given day.
Right.
And we strive for that, but knowing that at the end of the day, the coaches took their time and took the approach that they did. There had to be something that they felt that Kaidon could improve upon. And since he was able to do that in the span of time that he had, he was able to go out in Wyoming and he commanded their offense to a 400 yard game.
Yeah.
And we all knew he was a great player. I honestly feel like, he did really well. We're not gonna forget Stabby. We know we got a great backup in Stabby right now, so I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And Staub, he got his chance. He did his thing. I feel like he did really well. And Kaidon is going to be the quarterback that they decide to go with. And I love that decision.
Mhm.
I wish both of them could play, but we know that you need one quarterback to win. And, so I'm glad that they were able to figure things out. I'm glad Kaidon was able to figure things out off the field. And it just showed to his success on the field. Because if we look back at the first game versus the fourth game, and even though he didn't really play the other two games, we see a vast improvement with Kaidon. We do.
Yeah.
And it goes to show, like, whether it was him figuring things out himself or the coaches helping him along the way, he found something that clicked and it works for him now. And hopefully he can carry that momentum into the rest of the season in the conference play.
Yeah, I think with Kaidon Salter, and you hit it on the head again. It's like sometimes you just got to realize, like, hey, I'm not where I once was. Like, I'm not at liberty. I don't get to do things X or this way or that way or whatever. And like, I think every time, especially at quarterback, right? Because if, like, at your position, for instance, say you get benched as a starter, there's still going to be opportunities for you to play, right? Like, you're still going to rotate in there. You're probably still going to get a handful of snaps. But at quarterback, it's like, I think it's a lonely feeling when you get benched and it's like, oh, shoot, like, I'm done. Like, especially for Salter, this is his last year of his college career. So he probably gets benched and he's probably like, oh my gosh, like, this is it for me. And they're like, no, we need you. And so clearly whatever they talked about it got through to him. Whatever they talked about was clearly necessary to talk about, because obviously you don't have those sort of conversations and like pull those sort of moves if it's not needed. But it is interesting that it had to get to that point for him to have we call them come to Jesus moments, where it's just like, oh shoot, like, this is what I need to be doing now. But I think it'll work out for the better. I think it sort of shows that, like, hey, we support you, but we also need you to do things how we are asking you. Right. And I think there is a difference between because I feel like there's this notion amongst Colorado fans that Deion Sanders doesn't like Kaidon Salter. And I don't think that's the case, right? I think Deion Sanders is just used to having a quarterback who does things exactly how he wants them. And whether or not Kaidon Salter was doing those things behind the scenes or not, clearly not everything was up to Deion Sanders' standards, right? And so whatever they talked about needed to be adjusted, needed to be fixed. And it seems like Kaidon Salter was willing to fix those as he popped off for 400 yards of offense. So good on him. We'll see if he could continue that success because they have a chance to make a statement this week, Jordan. And we're going to talk about what a win over a ranked team can do for a team. But first, another quick break. This episode of Locked On Buffs is brought to you by the sponsors over at FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.